Senator John Kennedy just walked into a Medicaid fraud hearing and did what he always does when the room gets technical. He made it personal, but not personal like a rant, personal like a courtroom. So today is not a spreadsheet explainer. Today is a dominance autopsy. How one Southern drawl turns a federal program number into a moral crime scene, rewards the witness who plays along, and turns the witness who stonewalls into a punchline.
Now, what's your best guess as to how much per year this cheating costs the federal taxpayer?
We released the report on this yesterday, Senator, and estimated that it's $33 billion. It was $33 billion in 2024.
Okay.
Listen to how clean the trap is. Kennedy does not open with a speech. He opens with a request for a number. What is your best guess as to how much per year this cheating costs the federal taxpayer? So Brian Blaze, PhD, Paragon Health Institute, does not dodge the question. $33 billion in 2024. So that is the setup. It's rather cold. It's like expert owned, camera ready, and because the next move only works if the audience believes the number came from the witness, not the senator's press shop. Watch.
And that's $33 billion that is taken away from the people who really need Medicaid. Is that right?
Yes.
And here's where Kennedy stops talking like a budget hawk and starts talking about like a prosecutor of theft. That is $33 billion that is taken away from the people who really need Medicaid. Is that right? And Blaze says yes. So that sentence is the whole video if you only remember one. Fraud is not waste. Waste is boring. Waste is a committee report. But Kennedy reframes it as money lifted from the intended patient. The poor, the disabled, the people the program was sold as protecting. So the second the crime has a victim class, the denier is no longer debating accounting. He's debating who gets hurt.
Okay. Has anybody gone to jail for doing this?
Not to my knowledge.
Don't you think we ought to start putting people in jail for cheating?
I think that it's financial fraud against the federal government, yes.
So then Kennedy offers the room a simple moral product. Has anybody gone to jail over this? And Blaze says, not to my knowledge. And to what Kennedy replies, don't you think we ought to start putting people in jail for cheating? So Blaze does the smart thing for someone in his position. He agrees it is financial fraud against the federal government. So let's see what happened in that exchange. Blaze is not humiliated. He is basically being recruited. In hearing dynamics, that is power. The senator builds an ally in public, on the record, on camera. It is like someone who will say the hard word, fraud, so Kennedy does not have to invent it alone. So, yeah, that is half the job. The other half is what happens when a witness refuses the recruitment.
Sir, I'm sorry. Don't you think we ought to put people in jail for cheating?
Senator, I do not believe states are cheating.
You don't believe they're
I do
cheating?
not believe
All
that.
right. If they were cheating, what planet did you just parachute in from?
Andy Schneider, JD, former Medicaid official, energy all over the nameplate, gets the same family of questions. Jail for cheating? And he does not hedge. He does not say some providers. He does not say improper payments exist. But no, he says, Senator, I do not believe states are cheating. And Kennedy's face does not need a scream. The drawl does the violence. What planet did you just parachute in from? Yeah, this is pure Kennedy. I love this guy. That is not a policy rebuttal. That is a status challenge. You just told a packed hearing that the obvious is a fairy tale. Kennedy answers by treating you as the visitor from another planet.
But I'm be
It's
sure to
not
understand, you
perfect,
don't
but
believe
states do not
you don't
cheat.
believe states are cheating.
I do not believe states are
Do you
cheating.
believe in the tooth fairy? Sir? Do you believe in the Easter Bunny? Do you believe that Jimmy Hoffa died of natural causes?
Then he does what good cross-examiners do when someone digs in. He makes them repeat it until the claim sounds like a costume. You don't believe states are cheating? And Schneider says, I do not believe states are cheating. And Kennedy starts stacking children's mythology next to a government denial. The tooth fairy, the Easter bunny, Jimmy Hoffa died of natural causes. This is classic ridicule dominance. He's not raising the volume of his voice. He's raising the absurdity until the witness's position sits next to cartoon characters and a mob boss conspiracy punchline. So, why does this work so well, especially on video? It's because the audience does not need to understand all this process, the technical details. They understand that a serious adult just got compared to someone who believes in the Easter Bunny, and the comparison landed because the denial was absolute. So, absolute claims die by absolute comedy.
You're not answering.
I do not believe states are cheating in their administration of the Medicaid program.
Okay. I'm glad you have some water in front of you because your pants are on fire.
But Snyder still will not move. He restates, states are not cheating in their administration of the Medicaid program. And Kennedy's kill shot is not a chart. It is a playground verdict with a prop. I am glad you have some water in front of you because your pants are on fire. That is the end of the negotiation. He didn't say, I disagree with your methodology. No, you are lying and the glass of water is the joke prop. So again, if you freeze one face for this daily, freeze Schneider's on that line, not because we need cruelty for its own sake, but because the room status flipped. The expert tried to hold a hard line, and the senator turned the hard line into a comedy bit with a moral point underneath. If you deny cheating this hard in this climate, you will be ridiculed.
But if you really believe there's no cheating, you need to put down the bong. That's one of the most extraordinary statements I've ever heard a witness make.
Okay.
And in another cut from the same hearing, Kennedy lands the line that will travel even among people who skip the rest. If you really believe there's no cheating, put down the bong. Yeah. Rude, yes, on purpose. Unforgettable, also on purpose. Yeah, that is the Southern courtroom brand. Folksy package, blade inside. So, what did these 3 bookmarks actually capture? Not random Kennedy being Kennedy, although that is always fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie. I love these clips, all of it. But this is a 3-act power structure. 1. You own the number through a friendly expert. The 2. Moralize the number. Theft from people who need care. And 3. Punish the denier with absurdism until denial looks childish. So Blaze gets the open hand, and Schneider gets the cartoon ladder and the burning pants. And this was an amazing hearing with an amazing senator and 2 different status outcomes, and that contrast is what I just did in this video. Now the policy, the why, the federal match that pays the states more for expansion adults, the eligibility mass, the decade scale cost shift. Maybe that is more for my politics channel, the Power Pundit. But today we took a look at the room, who controlled the exchange, who got enlisted, and who left the table as a punchline. But let me know what you think about this in the comments. Remember that I have a blog, kinesics.com. Check the link in the description of this video. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Body Language Guy. Much love and bliss.